Welcome to another edition of Because They Matter. Forever on a mission, committing to encouraging, educating, and empowering parents, raising their children in an impactful and loving way. Because they matter. Now let's welcome our co-hosts, former single-parent mom and founder of Single Parent Advocate in Dallas, Texas, Stacie Martin. Also along, founder of Single But Not Alone and the reigning Miss Capital City, Illinois, Rhiannon Graham. And I'm Scott Murray, speaker, author, journalist, and CEO of the Scott Murray Scholarship Foundation and Lifting Spirits, Building Dreams. We welcome you all to Because They Matter. Hello again, everybody. Welcome to yet another edition of Because They Matter. And we're delighted to welcome you on this very special month of the year, because the month of March, Stacie, one of my two co-hosts, is
National Single Parent Day.
And you are a single parent.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
And so is the lovely lady that we have, Miss Chicago, I might add, getting ready for the Miss Illinois pageant coming up. She is there, Rhiannon Graham. Hello, my friend. How are you? Our other co-host.
Hello, how are you doing? Yes, I am a child of a single parent for the past 21 years now. I'm 24, so.
24, unbelievable.
Yep. Single parent kids are heroes.
That's very special. And tell us about, this special day that's coming up on the 21st of March, which, by the way, I might tell our audience, this all came about 4 decades ago, back in the decade of the 80s. Some gentleman by the name of Ronald Reagan, who happened to be our 40th president of the great United States of America, he at that time said, you know what, we need to do something on behalf of single parents. And what did he do? What did he create?
He created National Single Parent Day, and I think this proclamation is so important because single parents face trials and tribulations every single day, and it's important that we're recognizing that they are part of our society and their struggles that they're facing every single day.
Well, let me jump in here and say to the two of you, I have the utmost respect for both of you, and you're both from single parents and are single parent children. So I just wanted to say, I grew up in a family. My two role models to this very day are my mother and my father. I was very fortunate, very lucky, and have tried to emulate that same great whatever you want to call it with my own son and daughter. And I now work with my son, which is really very special. And my daughter is a vice president of a very, very prominent company here in this country, which I will not name because I don't want to show favoritism or anything, but she's something special. So, but my point is this. I had a lot of friends that were from single-parent families. So let me ask the two of you, and we'll start with you, Rhiannon. What do you remember most? You said you're 24, so it wasn't that long ago, but I just wondered, what is it that you learned most as a child, as a young adult, growing up in a single-parent family and as a single parent? What was that like to be a child to that?
Well, growing up with my mom, Cindy, as a single parent for, like I said, the past 21 years now, to over 2 decades, the thing that she taught me the most was the power of hard work. Ever since I was a young girl, I've watched her work multiple jobs, manage a household by herself, fix little things that were broke, and just manage everything for me and our pet dog that we had. So I think if she taught me anything now as an adult, is that hard work pays off. And I can attest to that within my studies, within being a part of the Miss America organization. And I'm just really grateful that she set that positive example for me, even though we were in a situation of divorce. But she set that example for me at a young age for me to follow as an adult.
Well, I was going to say, I would imagine a great deal of your success as Miss Chicago, for Pete's sake. That's pretty impressive. You have to be focused. You have to be strong, positive, and productive in a very passionate way, because you have a purpose in your life, and that was to win a crown. And now you're looking at yet another larger crown when it comes to Miss America. So, I mean, I'm sure that, I'd love to meet your mom someday, because she sounds like she must be a very special lady.
Mm-hmm. Yes, she is very special. And like I said, I attribute a lot of my success to her sacrifices.
Very nice. How about you? You're a little older than she is. How about it, Stace? I've been around you for a number of years, and I've always been very impressed how you are hardworking, really focused on whatever it is you do, want to make a difference, want to help those that need a helping hand, and of course created Single Parent Advocate, which is really something special. And I've had the opportunity to work with you as an MC and do some different things with that organization. So I've gotten a chance to see it firsthand. And now you've invited me to the last couple of years to take the Scott Murray Scholarship Foundation, which we give scholarships to children that need a helping hand to go to college. But that's all because of you. So how about you? What do you, just like I just asked Rhiannon, what is it that you, I guess, cherish most about growing up? You know, you don't want to grow up with just one parent, but I mean, bottom line is both of you have really excelled and done extremely well as young adults. So what was it that was special for you, or what did you learn from it that you remember most?
Well, I think for me, you know, mine was more of a family, not of divorce necessarily, but of disability or disease. My mom was very ill, and so I picked up a lot from my dad, and much like Rhiannon is saying, his tenacity and hard work ethic was something that I carry with me, and I'm glad you noticed that. That means a lot.
Well, you know what, but it's very obvious. You only have to be around you. Would you not agree, Rhiannon?
He's speaking facts right now, Stacie.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all, help me out. Hit me out.
No, but it's very true. It's very true. I see a lot of people that are one way one day and then very different the next day, and you go, okay, what's the real person? Who really are you? What? And I just, I have always seen you to be most consistent. Like, you know, like any of us, you have good days and bad days, but 99% of the time you have good days. At least you're being productive in that, like I said to Rhiannon, in that positive, productive way, because you have great purpose in your life and you want to make it happen. And thus you created, as I said before, the organization that makes a difference.
Well, I think for me, you know, I was fortunate to have time with my biological mother. Mm-hmm. I had time with my two grandmothers who really helped our family quite a bit. And then, of course, my father, all of whom are in heaven now. Mm-hmm. So they have, actually yesterday was my biological mother's heavenly birthday. Aww. And I have my stepmom who is here. My dad remarried, and she's a wonderful person. And she says to me, you know, Stacie, I make a decision every day to be happy. It's a choice. You know, I'll tell you a little bit of her story. Her son, his name was Chris, died at 27 in a car accident in Colorado on Father's Day. And we were all at dinner when we found out. And for her testimony to be, you know, I just want to believe in God. I want to be happy. That's the legacy that I choose to leave. And that's something I've really benefited from is my stepmom and her just sheer will to have a great experience and leave a positive legacy.
Okay, now you just gave us some examples or certainly some ideas. If you want to move forward, and if you happen to be a child that is, you know, from a single parent, whether they've lost the mom, whether, you know, they have no dad, how about it? With that thought in mind, Rhiannon, what would you say to someone if I came up to you and said, hi, this is Bob or this is Susie. They're both from single parents. What was the information, or what would be the information or the wisdom that you would try to share with them and say, okay, there are 3 things that you have to always remember, because I was from a single parent. I just grew up with my mom. Dad wasn't there. I mean, how about it? What are the 3 things come to mind that you would make sure that you shared with them so that they could move forward in that positive, productive way we talk about?
Well, it's funny you asked that, Scott, because this was actually a big thing that I talked about in my Miss Chicago interview, that 90% of our Chicago public school district students are being raised by a single parent, actually. And we've talked a little bit about success before, but that's where my success plan curriculum comes into play, where we talk about living a healthy lifestyle, how you're taking care and prioritizing your mental health, and also what activities you're going to stay in so you stay on the course of having a successful future of graduating high school and continuing on to college if you want. So that's where that success plan discussion comes in. And I really believe it's not just a worksheet, it's a blueprint to a successful future.
Great words of wisdom. Yeah, that was, well, I was going to ask you for your 3 too.
Well, you know what's so weird is Rhiannon and I, for those of you who don't know, we are just so much alike. We're like the opposite sides of a piece of paper, and we align a lot. So for for all those things, for the blueprint for a single parent child, the flip side of that, for a single parent, what I choose to say is love when love is not what you have received. Mm-hmm. Help others as you help yourself, and leave a positive and productive legacy for your children and those around you, your community, your church. And what I choose in my own life, how I describe it is I create bumper guards. I surround myself with people like yourselves who, if I'm not operating at full steam, you notice and care in an appropriate fashion, so I build community around myself. And on National Single Parent Day, I've written several articles about what can you do to celebrate National Single Parent Day. It just doesn't seem like a day to be celebrated, but truthfully it is, because of the fight and the sheer willpower that parents put into making life work for themselves and their kids, whether they're a single grandparent, a single mom, a single dad. I always like to say, just because you're a family that no longer lives together, it doesn't change that a father can still be a role model if he doesn't live with the mom, and vice versa. A mom can still choose to be a role model, even though that parental relationship has become parental and not romantic. And so, we can choose to be role models, and even in this setting. And I think that what happens is we throw ourselves out with the bathwater because something goes wrong, right? And that's not what we need to do. And I really love what Ronald Reagan responded to, because truthfully, the organization that asked Ronald Reagan to found and create this proclamation that has lived all these years was called Parents Without Partners.
Yes.
And I believe they still exist today. They're not necessarily all over the United States, but they equally represented fathers, mothers, and groups of people who were passionately raising a child or children alone.
So it did have to do with the child, because Parents Without Partners sounds like a relationship issue where you're talking about a mom or a dad or a husband and a wife coming together or not being able to stay together.
And
but it doesn't say much about the children, so that's why I was curious.
Oh, yeah, no, it's about if you're raising a child alone, we want to create a community.
So even though the name doesn't sound like,
Exactly.
doesn't, okay.
Yeah, if you look up Parents Without Partners, you can see.
Because like you're a single parent advocate, that when you say parent, you're talking about the child.
Oh, absolutely, the whole family.
Yeah, but did the initial title does not.
Oh, yeah, I can see where you're coming from for that. Oh, I was just digging into the history, and of course I've had the privilege of being able to write about this in the past and put it on the blog. I was looking at the blog the other day from singleparentadvocate.org, and the last time I blogged about it was in 2021, and I'm like, I need to blog about that again. So I'm glad we're doing it on the podcast, guys.
You realize that's 4 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh.
Refresh.
Well, I tell you what, is there anything else? I could sit and ask you questions all day, but I want to go in the direction with which the two of you prepared to share with our listeners and viewers here today. How about it? Anything else comes to mind that you'd like to share with us?
For National Single Parent,
it's the 21st of March, right?
What did you say?
The 21st of March.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
So we're coming
and
up
before
here
you
in the next
before you
week
answer
or
that
so.
question, I'm going to pull a fast one on you. Did you say that 90? What did you say when you were talking about the children in the Chicago schools? You said 90%.
90% are being raised by a single-parent household in Chicago Public School District.
Okay, 90% of so 9 out of every 10 kids is in a single-parent family in Chicago?
Correct.
That is,
Correct.
I would have guessed 20%, maybe 25.
Nope, 90. So that is almost the full majority of our Chicago Public School District is being raised by a single parent or
Oh my
grandparent,
gosh.
brother, sister. And that was one of my strongest suits that I talked about in my interview of why I needed to be the next Miss Chicago, because students in the public school district, which I'm actively in discussion with the Chicago Public School District Board right now to get my success plan curriculums in their classrooms, they need to see someone from a single parent household that's been successful. They need that role model,
Right.
and I'm happy to fill that role as Miss Chicago, that they can achieve their dreams like I did.
And certainly as Miss Illinois, do you have any statistics on the statewide stat on something like that? Do you know what it is?
Yeah, that's something right now that I'm in research about. I don't want to say anything and have it be incorrect.
Okay.
But that's something I'm in research right now as competing for Miss Illinois at the end of the month of June to make sure that I am having accurate statistics about the state of Illinois as a whole. But that's a little harder to find research for just because it's the entire state, but it's something I'm actively seeking out.
Well, Rhiannon, when I was doing our prep for today's podcast, even back in 1984, I was a junior in high school, okay? And he quoted
I don't
this.
think Rhiannon was even here.
Okay, that's enough.
Just-
2000.
Haters in the room.
Just a little humor for the audience.
Okay, so he says before they are 18, this is 1984, about half of our nation's children will have lived part of their lives with a single parent who strives to fill the role of both mother and father. I'm going to continue. He called on Americans to recognize the contributions single parents are making, sometimes under great hardships, to the lives of their children. He also encouraged people to volunteer their help, privately or through community organizations, to single parents who seek it to meet their aspirations for their children. And to me, this was kind of where I latched on. Single parents, we need to seek help. We're not supposed to just like be on an island and be isolated, even though that's our instinct to kind of huddle up. Even Ronald Reagan said, give help to those who seek it. And I just really want to encourage everybody on National Single Parent Day coming up, seek it. Seek to make something of the day, whether it's, writing love notes to your children or having a game night or getting together with other single parent families. Or perhaps there's a charity or many charities or churches out there who would take some time to have a parents' night out program or something.
Yeah. Well, it's like I've said for years in my keynote, live your life as a go-getter. So get out there and make it happen, but share your life as a go-giver. And that's what you're asking. Help these children, help these adults, help the whole
Make it okay.
scenario. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
And I just wanted to let you know, I did just fact check myself sitting here, and it says that for students in Illinois, there isn't a number, that research hasn't been done, but children in Illinois, it is 34% of all Illinois children are being raised in a single parent household.
So over 1/3.
Mm-hmm. It's
Unbelievable.
the same here in Texas.
That just boggles my mind. Well, not only should we be helping the children, it's
9,020.
Yeah. Not only should we be helping the children, it sounds as though we ought to be helping the wannabes when it comes to getting married. The people that are going to tie the knot, make sure that they're really committed to each other and they know who they are and what they are, and they don't get married and then 10 days later thought, oh, I didn't know you were like that. Oh, I didn't know you were going to do that. So
the
that
commitment.
You got it. Oh my gosh.
I don't think anybody who landed in a single parent position really often intended for that to happen. But you're right. Preparation really helps.
I think you got to be prepared as best you can. Now, obviously, a lot of things happen. You have no control over them. So be it. But my gosh, to have 90% of the children in the city of Chicago be from a single parent family, that's a statistic that is just that's mind-boggling.
Mind-blowing.
Yeah,
mind-blowing. Yes, when I was preparing to compete for the Miss Chicago titles, it was just, when I found out that statistic, it was just mind-blowing to me.
Yeah, me too. Well, that's why I brought it up. When I heard you say that, I thought, did she mean to say 90% or did she mess up there?
If you Google it, it'll come right up.
Unbelievable.
Yep, it was a research study done. Yep, but in some positive light, I would like to talk a little bit about what I'm doing this year with my mom and a state representative, actually, to celebrate National Single Parents Day.
Go for it.
So I don't know if I've really talked to either of you about this, but recently, in the past year or so, because legislation does take time, I've been working with Illinois State Legislator Joyce Mason, and we created a bill that recognizes the gold tinsel single but not alone awareness ribbon. So it's Bill HR 0906. So my goal this year is on National Single Parent Day, I'm going to be posting a map of the entire United States and putting that gold ribbon in the states that have already reached. So I'm hoping I can send one out to Texas so we can put a gold ribbon in Texas.
know it.
But this is a national level project that has been passed by the House of Representatives and is currently moving on to the Senate and then our Illinois governor's desk. So that's something exciting initiative that I'm taking to create awareness for single parents and their struggles on.
Let me ask you a question. Yeah, let me ask you a question, Rhiannon. What are you going to do, whether you win the pageant in June, and have the opportunity to even go on, and compete as Miss America, for that matter? I just wondered, what do you hope to be doing, say, 10 years from now? What is on your mind right now that here I am, Miss Chicago? I mean, there are literally thousands or hundreds of thousands of girls that have probably wished they could have been a part of that in their lifetime. And you're there. And then you're looking for Miss Illinois, and then, of course, the next move would be on to the Miss America pageant. How about you right now, though, as you sit here, after all that is over and done, and you're, no longer in your 20s, and it's time to get down to business and maybe raise a family of your own, get married, have your own family, have your own children, and then have a working job, do whatever you want to do, the latter portion of your life, the rest of your life. What comes to mind?
Well, I don't want to get too emotional because I feel like all I do is cry on this podcast sometimes.
Well, it's good television. Tears are good TV, so go for it.
But thanks to the Miss America opportunity, it has given me this platform to create Single But Not Alone. And it's not just my platform, it's my future career and my life's plan. My goal right now, being a Master's of Social Work student, is to turn Single But Not Alone into a nonprofit, which I actually just scheduled a meeting for May to start the paperwork to make it an official 501c3. So that's super exciting. I've had great role models like Stacie to follow in their footsteps and partnerships.
And what about your other co-host?
Oh, of course. I can't forget about Scott. I can't forget about him.
Just
too.
a joke. Only kidding.
Yes,
you're my role model, my friend. You're my role model.
Yes. Oh, well, yes. But what I was saying is I hope that I'm continuing this work that I'm doing because it's not just my platform. It's really my life's passion. As cheesy as that may sound, yes, it's in my heart, and it's something that I think about every day and work towards creating a better environment and community for our families.
Well, that'd be awesome. And you know what? I could almost have guessed that that's what you wanted to do because you live that. That every day. It comes across as most sincere, as obviously as real as the three of us sitting here talking. So and I do just want to touch on too. I've been involved in the Miss category of the Miss America opportunity for the past 4 years, and Miss Chicago was my 13th local. So I actually competed for Miss Chicago 2 years ago, and I didn't even place. So for anyone out there that is interested in competing in the Miss America opportunity, I say hard work and dedication pays off, and to always follow your dreams and work hard, because that's how I'm in this position. It wasn't luck. It was the hard work and dedication to my platform and working towards this goal. Absolutely. Good advice. Good advice.
All I want to do is leave everybody with one thought. How much time do we have left, Scott?
Oh, about 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Okay, so single parents, this is for you. Take this day, March 21st, and mark it down. Do something for yourself. Do something for your family. Don't give up the quality time just because it's before Mother's Day and before Father's Day. It doesn't mean it doesn't count. You really need to thank yourself. Everybody, pats on your own back, and take some time for that, and make a meal, make a moment, however your family works, because you matter. That's the bottom line, and your kids matter, and that's how we all move forward, is taking a moment and really locking down positive memories for each other, not only just for yourself, because single moms and dads are reluctant about that. You don't ever want to give yourself a pat on the back, because oftentimes we're just kind of living in the things that went wrong. But what's happening is right now you're a parent and you're fighting hard for your kids, and that's what's going right. And that's what this day is about. That's why Ronald Reagan and people recognize it. And I just want you to pause and play and have a great day.
Good advice.
And just adding on to that too, I I think it's so important, like you're saying, Stacie, that a lot of single families and single parents are in fight or flight mode always. So this March 21st, I hope that the families listening will take literally 15 minutes, whether that's to wake up and get your favorite coffee, to take a bath that night, to do something just completely for yourself, even if it's for just 10, 15 minutes, to recognize that you are doing everything for your children and family.
And for organizations, whether it's a charity or a church or a community organization, I challenge you to make this part of your plan to reach out of your heart to your community as well. Whether it's offering to run errands for single parents, or helping fix something that's broken.
Yes.
Oftentimes we can't afford to go and get things fixed, and that's, I believe Christian Brothers Automotive does once a year. They go and they fix single moms' cars because they don't know how to fix it, or they do an oil change or something like that. But it's usually not in March. Gift cards, I don't know. Whatever your community can do, just know 1 in 3 kids in your population are being raised by a single parent in Texas and in Chicago, which is a pretty strong indicator that that's what's going on across the country. And it might be just something refreshing and new and super meaningful to people who are really right there in your population.
No question. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to start with you now and ask you to just in 30 seconds to a minute, final thoughts as you approach this special day on the 21st of March, but more importantly, just to wrap up and share with our audience, just in a closing thought, 30 seconds, what they need to take from this entire broadcast today.
Well, I'm going to tell you what Ronald Reagan said in my 30 seconds.
Okay.
He said, "Your journey is challenging, but your love is unwavering. Cheers to the incredible single parents." So I want to echo that to all of you, and just ask you to be kind to yourself, celebrate the moment, hug your babies, and breathe.
Before I came here, just as a punk kid out of school in 1980, and 1981 it was, I was working at NBC in Washington, D.C., and I was involved with Special Olympics. And I was asked to come down and be the MC and kind of the honorary whatever with Nancy Reagan, because President Reagan had just been put into office, and January 20th of 1981. And so I went, oh my gosh. So I was out on the lawn at the White House, and with Nancy Reagan. So when you mentioned Ronald Reagan, I thought, oh my gosh, and here we're talking about kids. Now that was Special Olympics. But that was one of the neatest things to this day that I remember that I was a part of. But again, it had to do with children. Not single parent, but Special Olympics. But kids that need a difference made in their life. So
That's
no
right.
question about it. All right, my friend, Miss Chicago, I might add, with that lovely smile, but most importantly, with one of the most sincere, believable smiles, and that's what it's all about. What's your closing thought? You heard what Stacie had to say in her great quote from President Reagan. How about you?
I'm looking forward to on the 21st honoring my mom and treating her to something special, whether that's a 7 brew coffee. That's our latest favorite. I don't know if you guys have that in Texas, but if you do, you have to try it. Or maybe going to get our nails done, just something special that she wouldn't usually do for herself, to give her a big old thank you for the past 24 years of raising me.
Outstanding. And I simply say to you, thanks for making a difference of all the children in this world that need a helping hand, because they find themselves in something that they had nothing to do with, because they're not the chosen one. They were the chosen one of their parents, but they're just a part of what has taken place. But they continue to move.
Your environment does not define you.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. So stay strong, stay positive, stay productive, and understand the purpose in your life is making a difference in the lives of those that need it most. And in this particular case, we're talking about single parents and single parent children. So thank you. Good luck in June.
Thank you. It's coming up fast.
But in the meantime, we'll be back and talk to you. Thank you, Rhiannon. Stace, as always, thank you for all you continue to do for single parents. I'm Scott Murray. Till next time, stay safe, be well, be kind, and make a difference in this world. Single parents.